Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, dear students. In this lecture, we will look at the MCQs in microbiology. Mainly, we will focus on the basics in microbiology, the most important MCQs that are asked in different types of exams and entry tests. The very first MCQ is which of the following is an important disinfectant on account of effectively destroying gram-positive and gram-negative bacterium, viruses, and even spores at low pH level. तो mainly इसमें फिनोल, अल्कोहल, क्लोरीन और हेक्साक्लोरीन में जो लो पीएच पे और बोथ ग्राम पॉजिटिव और ग्राम नेगेटिव को अफेक्ट करता है, that is the chlorine. Conjugation does not involve. Conjugation is the process of the transfer of the genome between two bacteria. So mainly it involves in the bacteria, though it does not involve in the bacteriophages. All are sporocidal except ये जो गिवन तमाम स्पोर को किल करते हैं, इनमें से एक एजेंट ऐसा है, एक केमिकल ऐसा है जो स्पोर्स को किल नहीं करता, ग्लूटाल्डिहाइड, lysol, glutaraldehyde, ethylene oxide, ethylene dioxide, and formaldehyde. So lysol is not a sporicidal. Which of the following statement is not true regarding Chlamydia trachomatis? Chlamydia trachomatis, it is a bacterium. It mainly form the elementary bodies. It has the biphasic stage. It has the reticulate body. It invade the phagol lysosome. So not true regarding the Chlamydia trachomatis. Elementary body is metabolically active. It is biphasic, reticulate body divide by binary fission inside the cell. It evades phagolysosome. So elementary body is metabolically active. It is not true. Elementary body are not metabolically active. Protection against influenza A virus in a non-immune individual can be achieved through the administration of a drug that interferes with. So mainly we focus on the replication cycle of the viruses to control the replication or to control the infection of the viruses. So the best answer for this is the synthesis of viral progeny RNA. So it affects the viral progeny RNA synthesis. Endemic relapsing fever is caused by all except Borrelia Duttonii, Borrelia hermsii, Borrelia parkeri, or Borrelia recurrentis. All are responsible for relapsing fever except the Borrelia recurrentis. Staphylococcus bacterium secrete all except it produce the lipase, cellulase, coagulase और lysogenase. सारे होते हैं लेकिन एक एंजाइम नहीं प्रोड्यूस होता, that is the cellulase. It not secreted by the staphylococcus. The following test is used to differentiate Streptococcus from the staphylococcus: coagulase test, catalase test, phosphate test, or indole test. So the best answer is the catalase test. Which one of the following diseases characteristically causes fatty change in liver? Hepatitis B virus, Wilson's disease, hepatitis C virus infection, or chronic alcoholism? So chronic alcoholism mainly causes fatty change in liver. Phenol coefficient indicates efficacy of a disinfectant, dilution of a disinfectant, quantity of a disinfectant, or porosity of a disinfectant. So it is responsible for efficacy of a disinfectant. To detect the efficacy of a disinfectant, we use phenol coefficient test. Viruses are very simple. It is the definition of the virus. Viruses are obligate intercellular parasites. All are true regarding disinfectant except phenol usually requires organic matter to act. Phenol usually requires organic matter to act. Phenol usually does not require organic matter to act. Which of the following toxin act by inhibiting protein synthesis? It is a Shiga toxin. Simple as a Shiga toxin that is responsible to act by inhibiting the protein synthesis. All of the following pathogenic bacteria fulfill Koch postulate except Treponema pallidum that is responsible for siphoid disease. It is not follow it not fulfill Koch postulates because it cannot culture on the laboratory media, artificial media. Following are acid-fast bacilli except actinomycetes are not acid-fast. Mycobacterium is at acid-fast, Mycobacterium leprae and nocardia. All these are the acid-fast. So actinomycetes are not acid-fast bacilli. Bacteria with tough of flagella at one end are called लोफोट्राइकस. अगर एक ही एंड पे मौजूद हैं फ्लैजेला उसको हम लोफोट्राइकस कहते हैं या लोफोट्राइकेट. In plasma sterilization control use is Bacillus subtilis, Bacillus styrothermophilus, Clostridium perfringens are present. So the Bacillus styrothermophilus, it is a control in the sterilization because it can resist the high temperature. An antiseptic means an agent applied on skin to eradicate pathogenic microbes. Antiseptic mainly used on the skin to eradicate the pathogens. Jumping genes, also called the transposons. Viable but not cultivable state is seen in which of the following organisms? Mainly the Microbacterium leprae, which is not present in bacterial cell wall of gram-positive bacteria. Bacteria, artichoic acid, peptidoglycan, lipids are lipopolysaccharide. Lipopolysaccharide are not present in the gram-positive bacteria cell wall. Resolution of light microscope is 200 nanometer. 40% formalin is used to sterilize all microbes plus spores. Metachromatic granules are stained by Ponder stains, negative stain, Gram stain, or Leishman stain. It is stained by the Ponder stain. Which of the following does not possess both DNA and RNA? Viruses does not possess DNA and RNA. Viruses only DNA or RNA. Drug resistance transfer by bacteriophages involved. That is called transduction. A recent Nobel Prize is for RNA interference. Now, all are acid fast except Mycoplasma is not acid fast because it has no cell wall. The best skin disinfectant is betadine. Dark ground microscopy is used to see flagella. What is the pattern seen in eukaryotic flagella? It is 9+2. Property of acquiring antibiotic resistance from viral colony is transduction. Louis Pasteur is not associated with discovery of Mycobacterium tuberculosis because discovery of Mycobacterium tuberculosis is associated with the Robert Koch. Specimen not refrigerated prior to inoculation, pus, CSF, sputum or urine. So CSF specimen is not refrigerated prior to inoculation. Adhesion is useful for the bacterial attachment. The mechanism by which specific information encoded in a nucleic acid chain in virus transferred to messenger RNA is known as transcription. Not easily culturable but well viable and used in epidemiology or Mycobacterium tuberculosis. Vaccines are sterilized by SATS filtration, hot air oven, autoclaving, heat inactivation. So vaccines are sterilized by the SATS infiltration. Operation theaters are sterilized by formaldehyde fumigation. The bacterial nucleate differs from the eukaryotic nucleus by all following except C plus and G plus C. Acid fast staining was invented by Zell Nelson. That's why it's also called Zern staining. Radiation can be used to sterilize bronchoscope. To sterilize bronchoscope. The endotoxin which leads to endotoxic shock usually is lipopolysaccharide, that is the endotoxin. Which one of the following is true? Neutron broth is a basal medium. Neutron broth is a basal medium, basic medium. Which one of the following disinfecting procedure is preferred for disinfection of blankets, beds, books kept in a room? It is formaldehyde fumigation. In negative staining, the structure to be demonstrated is not stained. All of the following organisms are known to survive intracellular except Streptococcus pyogenes cannot survive intracellularly. Except Streptococcus pyogenes, all other can survive. Neisseria meningitis can survive intracellularly, type V and Legionella pneumophila. So Streptococcus pyogenes cannot survive intracellular. Prokaryotes are organisms with DNA without nucleus. DNA is not present in the nucleus. It is present in the region that is called the nucleate. Glutaraldehyde is employed in surgery for the sterilization of cytoscope. Tryponium pyridium was discovered by Jourdain and Hoffman. Shine-Delgado sequence in bacterial messenger RNA is near the AUG codon, that is called the start codon. Following grows in the cell-free medium except Rickettsia. Infants infected with cytomegalovirus in utero may suffer from mental retardation, enlarged spleen, liver damage, any of these, none of these. So any of these. Viroids are unusual in that they have no capsid protein or envelope. Viroids have no capsid proteins. Viroids have only RNA. The role of plasmids in conjugation was first described by the Lederberg and Tatum in the Escherichia coli. Bacteriophages are mostly needed for bacterial identification. That's why this is called the phage typing. Hospital dressing is best disposed by incineration, dumping, autoclaving, or burying. So it is incineration. Thermalization is a type of intermittent sterilization. Which of the following is most resistant to antiseptic? Prions are the most resistant to antiseptics. L-forms are discovered by Kleinberger. Electron microscope was discovered by it was the Knoll-Ruskov. Magnification range of light microscope is 1000x to 2000x. Option number B. Which of the following organisms are arranged in cubical packets of 8 cocci? Staphylococcus, Micrococcus, Sarcinae, or Aerococcus. So group of 8 is called Sarcinae. Virus-mediated transfer of host DNA from one cell to another is known as the transduction. Condensation of light in light microscope is by condenser. Light gathering capacity of microscope is called numerical aperture. If 10x and 40x objectives are used here in the medium, the numerical aperture is 1. The ability of microscope to distinguish two objects into two separate objects is called resolving power. The F factor integrates with bacterial chromosome to form HFR. I cannot resolve any image less than 5 micrometers. A compound microscope was discovered by Janssen and Hans. Smith-Noguch media is used for spirochetes. The inventor of microscope is Antony von Leeuwenhoek, who was the father of the microbiology. First, Pasteur conducted fermentation experiment in the fruit juices. Cerebrospinal fluid should be cultured immediately, but if delayed, the specimen should be refrigerated at 4 degrees Celsius to 6 degrees, frozen to -20, stored in room temperature for no longer than 24 hours, incubated at 37, and cultured as soon as possible. So incubated at 37 and cultured as soon as possible. Limit of resolution of compound microscope is 0.1 mm. Source of light in fluorescence microscopy is mercury lamp. Aseptic collection of blood culture requires that the skin must be clean with 70% alcohol, then 2% iodine or iodophore. 70% alcohol, 2% iodine or iodophore. Which of the following statement is true about the heptene? Heptene needs a carrier to induce the immune response. The causative organisms or Rocky South mountain spotted fever was first described by the both A and B are correct. That is the Howard Ricketts and the Daroka Lima. The term bacteriophages was coined by it was the D. Harrell, while infection of bacteria was discovered by T. and the term was discovered by D. Harrell, was coined by D. Harrell, and the infection was discovered by the T. Which one of the following statement is true regarding the chlamydia pneumonia? That is the group of specific antigen that is responsible for the production of complement fixing antibodies. Modern concept of chemotherapy was proposed by von Eldridge. The role of phagocytosis was discovered by Mechnikov. Laboratory diagnosis of viral respiratory tract infections can be established by all of the following tests except there is a detection of viral hemagglutinin inhibition inhibiting antibodies in a single serum specimen. Which of the following gastroenteritis viruses can spread by the air? It may be the cepovirus, rotavirus, norovirus, or astrovirus. So norovirus can spread through the air. Electron microscope given magnification up to 200,000. Term vaccine was coined by Louis Pasteur. That's all about the basics in the microbiology. These are very important MCQs, and it will be asked different types of exams. In next coming lecture, we will discuss about more MCQs of the microbiology. Thank you so much. If you have any questions, you can ask in the comment section.